got us another case of the woke turning on the woke. Here's the thing about being a member of Woke United Methodist, living your life abiding by the woke commandments, publicly denouncing all of these myths the church creates. Your loyalty doesn't matter. It means nothing. It doesn't matter how many times you denounce your white privilege. It doesn't matter how much money you tithe to the BLM chapter of Woke United Methodist. You could be a deacon in good standing. You could go online and obtain your cucumber certificate, permitting you to baptize new members to be born again in the new faith. None of it matters. None of it. You are not allowed to make a mistake. Most religions, they preach the practice of forgiveness. If you're a graduate of Woke U, you're not given that luxury. This also represents a catch-22. You're not allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed to violate the woke commandments, but it's also impossible to live by these standards. Eventually, the inevitable always happens. Someone makes a mistake and these people always turn on each other. I wish I had started numbering episodes of The Woke Turning on the Woke. In the 2 or so years that we have been dedicated to covering the filth, this has got to be at least the 100th time that we have covered a story of betrayal like this. I used to be a big fan of Mark Cuban. Say what you want about him, but one thing you cannot take away from Mark Cuban, he's a brilliant dude. I'm sure many of you guys have seen Shark Tank before. Mark Cuban, he can spot a con artist on that show from a mile away. I used to have a lot of admiration for him, which is why I was extremely disappointed a couple of years ago when Mark Cuban contacted Father Jalen Rose, asked to be led in the woke prayer to be born again. Oak tree, who art in the backyard, acorn be thy name, cucumbers make me come, thy will be done, above ground as thy roots grow underground. Oh, oak tree, I admit I'm a sinner, I atone for my white privilege, please wash away these sins as Father Jalen dumps me in this woke swamp. Please convince him to bring me back up and not drown me in the swamp. After 10 or 15 seconds, Mark Cuban, he's raised out of the water, and he wasted no time showing his commitment to the Butt Brigade. 2 years ago, as ratings for the NBA Finals were setting record lows, led by the Queen of Queefs, LeBron James, Mark Cuban, he agreed to be interviewed by Megyn Kelly. Now, I will give him credit. Getting baptized, it might have washed away his white privilege, but it didn't steal Mark Cuban's balls. This dude's never been afraid of verbal confrontation. He has never been afraid to have someone with an opposing viewpoint challenge his mentality. Megyn Kelly did not pull any punches. This was during the time the NBA dove headfirst into the shallow end of the woke community pool. Adam Silver, he hit his head so hard, got a concussion, and approved the painting of Black Lives Matter all over the fucking court. You know, as if people didn't already know Black Lives Matter. Megyn Kelly, she attributed the tanking ratings to the NBA's decision to embrace the woke hub. She asked Mark Cuban his thoughts about it. More specifically, the BLM logo painted on the court. What was his response? Megyn, I am a bit hungover this morning. Which BLM group are we talking about? I don't know, Marky Mark. The only fucking BLM group that exists in America? The one painted all over your floor? Megyn Kelly, she rightfully accused the organization of promoting Marxism, both Black Lives Matter and the NBA. Now, Mark Cuban, he tried to backpedal. The NBA has never publicly supported Marxism. Oh, really? Really? Just because you don't say it doesn't mean you're not supporting it. I judge people and companies based on their actions, not their words. Let's take a quick look at the actions of the NBA. Supported Black Lives Matter, both publicly and financially. Before they edited their website, Black Lives Matter admitted to being an organization founded in the principles of Marxism. Don't take my word for it. You know KC always comes with the proof. Check out this footage of Patrisse Cullors from 2015, one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, admitting it herself that they were founded in Marxism. Roll the film.
Here's Cullors in a revealing 2015 interview.
I actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Okay, let's see. How else has the NBA supported the promotion of Marxism? I don't know. Their relationship with China? The NBA not only has a business relationship with China, they also have a personal relationship. On the personal side, Adam Silver gives world-class fellatio to leaders in China. On the business side, the NBA receives billions of dollars every year for the right to broadcast their games in the land of the unfree. Anytime someone associated with the NBA speaks out against the leaders of the Marxist world, Adam Silver grabs the cucumber and gives them a spanking. Remember when Daryl Morey defended freedom fighters in Hong Kong? Remember that? Daryl, this is Adamina. Who the fuck is Adamina? It's Adam Silver, Daryl. Adamina is the name I use when I identify as a woman. I need you to get to my office right now. You spoke out against my daddy. I have the cucumber prepped, but for your own sake, I recommend you bring the preparation. Gonna be a long day for you, Daryl. What about Enes Kanter? Enes Kanter has always been a role player in the NBA, but he has been a consistent part of the rotation throughout his career. Going into last season, he was averaging around 22 minutes a game, which is typical for a role player. Before the season, he starts speaking out against the Beijing badass, starts making appearances on cable news, talking about the absolute atrocities that are happening in China. All of a sudden, Enes Kanter has his minutes cut. Next thing you know, the Celtics, who are contending for a championship, trade a reliable role player, averaging 11 and 8 throughout his career. They trade him to the tanking Rockets, because a title contender has no need for a 7-footer with playoff experience. Immediately after being traded to the Rockets, Enes Kanter was released and hasn't played in the NBA since. Now, I told you guys when this happened, I believe this was the NBA's act of contrition to China. When Daryl Morey made his comments about Hong Kong, he was the general manager in Houston. Enes Kanter does the same thing. His NBA career ends in Houston. So, Mark Cuban, have I given you enough proof of how the NBA is supporting Marxism? All of this defense of the NBA, it wasn't enough for deacons at Woke United Methodist. They needed Mark Cuban to prove he was a loyal comrade. So, what did Mark Cuban do? February 2021, he announces that the national anthem will no longer be played in Dallas. Why? That song is a hot button issue. It's too divisive. It offends our players. From now on, we will play the theme song from the Brady Bunch before games. After all, the NBA is one diverse family without all the diversity. The other day, I can't remember what we were talking about. I think it was the video I did on the lady who was just canceled by MSNBC. I can't remember her name. But in that video, we talked about how it's easy for these billionaires and woke organizations to publicly support the woke movement. It's easy for Major League Baseball to dedicate a portion of their site to social justice. It's easy for the NFL to pretend to be leading the fight against mythical racism. It's easy to donate money to woke causes. It was easy 2 years ago to sympathy hire these shit fucks based on their race, gender, or non-binary status. But at the end of the day, the only color that matters is green, money. Senator Elizabeth Warren, she is once again pushing to raise taxes on the wealthy. The 1%ers need to pay their fair share. These billionaires pay no taxes, limiting the woke welfare for people who are completely useless but vote for me. It does not get more woke than Elizabeth Warren. This is the same woman who pretended to be an Indian. Guardian, Native American, whatever the fuck. Elizabeth Warren, she is whiter than my ass in December, but she tried to claim she was a minority. Anyway, once these woke politicians push for taking more of Mark Cuban's money, all of a sudden, he ain't so woke anymore. Listen to the remarks he made just the other day about his woke sister. Roll the film.
I don't mind being taxed more. I wrote a blog 20 years ago saying it's the most patriotic thing you can do after military service is pay your taxes, because that's what allows everybody, to live and to prosper. But yeah, the idea of just soak the rich, billionaire tears that sell that cup. Screw you, Elizabeth Warren. You're everything wrong with politics.
Oh, I get it now. We're all about the cause when it gives us a nice tax write-off. We're all about the agenda when it's making us billions of dollars in China. Mark Cuban, he doesn't mind pushing the narrative when it generates positive press in the mainstream media. But when deacons at Woke United Methodist tell Mark Cuban it is time to increase his weekly tithe from 40% to 60%, He wants to complain about it. You can't have it both ways. You're either open to the cucumber or you're not. You're either hosting the Butt Bongo Festival or you're not. And just to be clear, I agree with Mark Cuban here 100% when it comes to increasing taxes on the wealthy. Rich people in this country are already taxed to death. Enough. The majority of tax revenue comes from the top 5-10% of income earners. You raise taxes on these people, they'll just take their money elsewhere. If you want to raise taxes on the 50 or so percent of the country that ain't paying shit. I don't know about you guys, but I have never had a poor person give me a job before. Every job I've ever had, including what I'm doing right now here on YouTube, came from someone with money. But I don't feel sorry for Mark Cuban. No. Dude, you married yourself to this movement. Don't come whining and complaining when they ask you for more money. It costs money to keep the lights on at Woke United Methodist. It costs money to drive that climate-friendly bus to the swamp so members can witness new recruits get baptized. Someone has to pay for that, Mark Cuban, and it ain't gonna be me. You're down with the cause. You pay for it. But give me your thoughts. Mark Cuban has spent the last 2 years professing his faith to the Butt Bongo. But when it comes time to pay poking Peter, Mark Cuban wants to complain. Sound off in the comments below. Hit that like button for me. We come with new content daily here on the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. You can contact me by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.